love to talk about the person that we love. We like to glorify the qualities of our wife or our husband or our children or our parents because we love them. So today we're glorifying someone that we love very much, Sri Krishna, his teachings. And we'll look deeply into the deep meaning underlying this discussion known as Bhagavad-Gita, the Song of God. Because as we learned from Srila Prabhupada, that in the spiritual world, every word is a song. Every step is a dance. Every thought is a thought of love. Every act is an act of devotion. So we want to inculcate that lifestyle here in this life to prepare ourselves for returning back there. Because if we don't imbibe that mood, we won't fit in. We can't go somewhere where you don't fit in. Just like we can't live with the aquatics. We don't fit in their atmosphere. They can't fit in with us. They can't live in our atmosphere. They have a water atmosphere. We have an air atmosphere. What is the atmosphere of Goloka Vrindavan, of the spiritual world? Who knows?
It's spiritual.
Yeah, but what is the atmosphere there in that spiritual realm? Can you say? Sorry? The atmosphere is of divine love. Every thought, every word, every action is imbued with divine love. So similarly, if we don't cultivate that mood here, we won't fit in there. Just like you can't leave the hospital if you're still diseased. They discharge you when you're well. So Prabhupada said that we're spiritually diseased. We're suffering from an identity crisis. We don't even know who we are. I'm thinking I'm this body. I'm thinking I'm male or female, white or black, Indian or American. We're suffering from amnesia. We don't even know who we are. And if you don't know who you are, then you don't know where you're going. And you don't know what to do. So Prabhupada has come to dispel this amnesia and to give us knowledge. In the beginning, he gives us knowledge, but for us, it's knowledge for Prabhupada, but for us, it's simply information. We're given the information that I'm not this body. We're given the information that I'm spirit soul, that this is not my home, planet Earth, or the material realm, but my home is in the spiritual realm. I don't grow old, I don't get diseased, because I'm Navayovana in the spiritual realm, Satchidananda. So he gives us this information. Now, I may say I'm not this body. You may say I'm not this body, but do you have full realization of that? Do you think, speak, and act in that full consciousness 24 hours a day? No. So this is information that we've been given. My question is this: when does the information become knowledge? It's knowledge for Prabhupada, it's information for us. When does it become knowledge for us?
When you apply it in your own life.
Exactly. When we live it, when we apply it in our life, then it becomes knowledge. Now there are university professors that teach comparative religions and they teach Bhagavad-Gita. And they may know so much about Bhagavad-Gita, but it's only information. It's not knowledge because they're not living it, they don't apply it. It's just an intellectual understanding. Yesterday we were speaking the difference between an intellectual understanding and a bhavnamrit understanding from the heart. So when we live it, then we're living Krishna bhavnamrit. we're on that path. Not just something that we're gaining some knowledge that we can talk about, give lectures about, give seminars, teach others, but we live it. So we're not professors, but we're practitioners. We live the Gita. And we're establishing a relationship with Krishna, which is the essence of the Gita. The essence of the Bhagavad-Gita is to re-establish our lost relationship with Krishna. What does it mean, lost? Well, it means that you had something and now you can't seem to find where it is. What happened? I had it and now it's gone.
We forgot.
Yes, we're in a state of forgetfulness. So Prabhupada used the word revive. We want to revive our Krishna consciousness. We want to wake up, Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra Bole. Lord Chaitanya is calling, wake up sleeping souls, wake up sleeping souls. Kota Nidra, how long will you continue sleeping? Kota Nidra, Jao Maya, please go away, this illusion. Pisachira Kore, because we're on the lap of the witch of Maya, the illusion. We're right in the lap, and we're thinking we're very comfortable. Jeev Jago, wake up sleeping souls. So, the background, the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is called Observing the Armies. It's the contents of the Gita summarized, or I should say, it's the background of the Gita summarized. So, there's a war going on between cousin brothers, the Kauravas and the Pandavas. The Pandavas represent the righteousness in our human mentality, where the righteousness and doing right is most prominent. And the Kauravas, they're in the darker modes where their mood is me first. Everything is for me first. The Vaishnava mood is everything is for you first. Just like a mother and father, everything is for you first, for the children, for the family. This is called love. But when everything is me first, like for example the corporations, all they want is money. The medical industry, they don't care about your health. When they have their meetings at the CEO, they're not talking about health, they're talking about profits. How can we get more profits? We have to placate the shareholders. That's what they're talking about. It's all business, it's all money. No one's talking about how can we benefit the people? How can we reduce hospital care? How can we eliminate disease? And they never talk about that. Why do they never talk about that? Because then they'd be out of business. The first thing they teach you in business administration at the university is how to keep your business expanding. How do you do that? Repeat customers. You have to have repeat customers. In the medical industry, what is a repeat customer? Someone who's always sick. As soon as you cure him, you lose him as a customer. This is not good for business. Very bad for business. So they've developed a line of medications that have side effects. So we solve this problem, but we'll create another problem, keep you as a
Customer.
Keep you as a loyal customer.
Keep you as a loyal customer. A repeat customer. They say that we want to solve your problem, but actually, they're not in business to solve your problems. They're in business to solve their problem. And their problem is how to keep you as a repeat customer and increase the profits. So, that's the Kaurava Sampradaya. And the Pandava Sampradaya is you first. We will do everything to serve you. So Yudhisthira and Arjuna, they realized that if we fight this war, millions of people are going to die. But even worse than that is that all the mothers, they'll lose their husbands. Who will protect them? And the young daughters, they won't have any future husbands because the young men will also be killed. So this is, how can we tolerate such a situation? So we have to avert this war somehow or other. So Arjuna and Yudhisthira, they go to see Krishna and they explain the situation. How can we prevent this war from happening? We have to come up with some plan. So they discuss, and the three of them come up with a plan, and then they decide to go visit Duryodhana in Hastinapur. So Krishna, Yudhisthira, and Arjuna arrive at the palace of Hastinapur, and they meet with Duryodhana. Oh, what is the reason for this meeting, says Duryodhana. Well, we've been thinking about this war, and Yudhisthira speaks and explains what will happen. So many people will die. So many women will be left without husbands. So many young girls will not have potential husbands to marry. It's going to be a horrible situation. It'll be the ruination of Dharma and our country. So we have a plan. We are Kshatriyas, Pandavas, we're 5 Kshatriyas, so we have to rule. So we suggest, why don't we just take 5 villages, which we can govern over, and you can have 95% of the rest of the kingdom. We'll just take 5 villages, and we don't have to have a war. No one will die. How many people think that's a good idea? Was that a good plan, Dr. Mishra?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. But how did Duryodhana receive it?
Well,
He didn't say, oh, that's a very good plan. He thought, it's a sign of weakness. They know they're going to lose. Instead of having 0, they're trying to get 5%. So he took it as a sign of weakness, and he said, I will not give you as much land as you can put under the head of a pin. So that was it. The war had to go on. So, the observing the armies, the first chapter, Arjuna says to Krishna, pull the chariot out, let me observe the opposition. Let's see what this is all about. Because there were certain, in those days, wars were fought according to rules. So when the night fell, the wars, everybody stopped fighting. They went to their tent, they ate, they slept, and at sunrise again they start fighting. It's like going to your job. These are soldiers. This is their job, to fight and to kill and to plunder and to loot. This is the mentality of a soldier. So early that morning, just as the sun was about to rise, Krishna pulls the chariot up in front of, so Arjuna can see who's arrayed against him. And he sees on the other side, not only the Kauravas, but Bhishma Dev, his grandfather, his teacher, his friends, his relatives. He says to Krishna, this is not, how can I do this? This is adharmic. To fight those people who raised me, Kripacharya, my teacher, grandfather Bhishma, who gave us so much love. How can I fight and kill these people? And Krishna, he's a Kshatriya, but he says, I'm losing all composure, Krishna. The Gandiva bow is slipping from my hand. I've forgotten everything I do. I just can't do this. I don't feel up to it. And that's the situation in the first chapter. So in the second chapter, contents of the Gita summarized, Krishna has to deal with the shok, the lamentation of Arjuna. Lamentation. Arjuna is lamenting. I'm losing the grip on my Gandiva bow. I'm losing all composure. I can't go through with this. This is not the mood of a Kshatriya. This is the mood of a soft-hearted Vaishnava. Because Arjuna is a Vaishnava. He has a soft heart. But Krishna, he realizes that this fight has to go on. There's no other way. So he has to bring Arjuna out of this lamentation. Excuse me. I need a little tea. So the first thing he says to Arjuna, you're lamenting for that which is not worthy of lamentation. You're thinking you're the body. You're thinking everyone's the body. But everyone's not the body. The body is like a dress. Millions of births have gone on. You've had so many different bodies. I've had so many different incarnations. And we've been together all this time. I can remember all of it, but you can't, because you're changing your body. Krishna doesn't change his body, he just expands his body. He expands himself into different incarnations, but it's the same Krishna. We get a new body and we identify with the body. This is what we were saying earlier. We're suffering from amnesia, we forget who we are, and we're suffering from an identity crisis. So in one life I'm born as a man, in a male body, so I'm behaving like a man. And the very next life, I'm born as a woman. Now I'm behaving as a woman. Then the next life, I'm again born as a man. Let's say in India. I'm born as a man in India, and I have certain rules about how the lady should behave. The lady should be subordinate. I am in charge, this, that, and everything. My next life, I'm born as a woman, and I get my karmic reaction. Prabhupada said that usually that's what happens. At the end of the life, the man is thinking of a woman, so he takes woman's body. The woman is thinking of her husband, she takes man's body. So, changing. So, in my one life, I'm stressing Stri Dharma, and I'm the man and I'm in control. And in the next life, I'm under some other man is telling me, you're the wife, you should do what I say. Back and forth we go like this. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna, this is illusion. You're not the body, nor can you slay anybody because the soul is eternal. So basically he gives this tattva of who we are. He tries to awaken Arjuna to his real identity as spirit soul, and that everyone else on both sides of the armies are also spirit souls. And this is basically what he's trying to explain in the second chapter. But he's also explaining that how you can behave in such a way that you don't create more karma and you don't keep taking birth over and over again, because in ignorance we're taking birth over and over again. And he says there's no loss or diminution in this endeavor of akarma, and a little advancement on this path can protect us from the most dangerous type of fear. So then he concludes the second chapter by saying that this path where you don't create karma, this is the way of the spiritual life, the saintly life, the godly life. And after attaining to this life, in other words, coming to the platform of understanding Bhakti Yoga, then one is no longer bewildered. What to do, who am I, what is the goal of life? One becomes fixed because everything becomes clear. And then Krishna says, if one is thus situated, even at the hour of death, then one can return to the kingdom of God and be finished with this samsara once and for all. So then, Krishna in the third verse, third chapter, he speaks about karma yoga. Karma means action. So he's speaking about action in yoga. And he explains there's three kinds of actions. There's karma, which means we act according to Shastra, according to the Dharma Shastras. If you act according to Dharma Shastras, this is following the path of karma. If you do not follow the Dharma Shastras and you act sinful life, then this is vikarma or kukarma. So following karma, you get a good reaction, a positive reaction. You can gradually elevate yourself. But following the sinful life, kukarma or vikarma, you degrade yourself more and more. But, Krishna says, there's a third path, akarma, where you perform activities and there's no result. But how is that? Because the law of physics is for every action there's a reaction. So Krishna explains in this chapter how you can behave such that there will be no reaction. And that is, you do everything for me. And if you do everything for me, then the reaction won't come to you, the reaction will come to me, Krishna says. And I can handle it, don't worry about it. And Prabhupada gives a very wonderful analogy for us to understand this. Prabhupada gave the analogy of the battlefield and the war. And he says that if a young man is conscripted into the army and sent off to battle, he can kill so many people. And the more people he kills, the more he becomes a hero. He comes back, he gets the gold medal. Or whatever medal it is. But once he leaves the army, and he's in private life, if he kills one man even, immediately sent to jail. He's a criminal. So we have two lives, one under the authority and one with no authority, our own private life. So if we always act under the authority of Krishna, we don't get any karmic reaction, just like the soldier. He doesn't get any karmic reaction for killing people. But as soon as he leaves that authority, he enters private life, harms one person, immediately criminal. Same with us. So we're creating karmic reactions for everything we do when we're acting for our own benefit, our private life. But if we act only under Krishna's suggestions, Krishna's authority, then whatever reactions come, bypass us and Krishna takes them. Just like the government doesn't consider any soldier to be a criminal. Clear?
Yeah.
Everybody understands this point now, right? This is called akarma. So in this way, Arjuna is getting this information. And in chapter 3, this is what basically Krishna is speaking. So he says, as the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to the result, I do everything for my own benefit. Attachment to the result means I get a job to get the money. Now, if you're working at a company, suppose you're doing very well in your company, but then the head CEO calls you into the office, you have a heart-to-heart talk. You're doing very well. You're one of the best people that we have. And we're very proud of you, but we're having difficulties in the company now. There's a financial crunch, We want to keep you. We're going to have to let some people go, but we want to keep you. But we're not going to be able to pay you. So you please stay here, carry on doing your work, but without pay. How many people will stay and work for free? Nobody. Because you're only there for your own benefit. No money, you go somewhere else. Get a job where you can get money, because you need that money. So this is called performing our duty with attachment to the results. This is what Krishna is talking about. And he says these are the ignorant people. The learned may similarly act, but without attachment. And why? For the sake of leading people on the right path, for the sake of dharma. And dharma means surrendering to the word of Shastra and Krishna. So, this is what Krishna is speaking about in the 3rd chapter. How to behave properly, how to act in such a way to benefit others, not to create karma for yourself, but to become free from karma. And thus, knowing oneself to be the spirit soul, to be transcendental to the material senses, to the material mind, and the material intelligence, O mighty Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, which Prabhupada calls Krishna consciousness. And thus, by spiritual strength, conquer the insatiable enemy of being attached to the results, which Krishna calls kam, desire. Krishna is gentle. He says calm, desire. Prabhupada is a little heavier. Conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So now Krishna has explained who you are, how you should act, not to further implicate yourself deeper and deeper into this material energy where you're attached to the results and everything is for me first. Either me or my extended family, which means my husband and wife or children, and that's, parents, and that's it. Now everybody loves their children, right? We'll do anything for our children, is it not? But will we do everything for the children across the street? No, because they're not my children. So it's not that I love children. There are millions of children all over the world. I love my children only. They came from me. They're mine, therefore I love them. Those children over there, well, whatever happens to them, it's their karma. So now we have a basic understanding of material life. So in the 4th chapter, Krishna is going to speak about transcendental knowledge. So the famous verse, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadeksyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. Where do you get that knowledge from? From someone who has it. Jnaninas tattvadarshana. He's a tattvadarshi. He has that knowledge. He has seen the truth. So he can give it to you. What is he giving to us? Knowledge. Jnana. Jnaninas tattvadarshana. He can't give bhakti though. He can only give knowledge. So where does the bhakti come from?
Knowledge rectified the practice.
It comes from us, from our yoga practice, from our heart. That's where the bhakti comes from. So he gives us knowledge. I just quoted that verse. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekstyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. Here's Prabhupada's translation. Just try to learn the truth. Try. Make an attempt. Try to learn the truth. How? By approaching a